Hey, everybody. Join us today for part two of our conversation with Renata Cherlise, the founder of Black Archives. We'll get further into the power of intergenerational stories, how the variations between photography, iPhones, and cameras in general changes the work and the power of legacy. Next up on Mama We Made It with DJ Reg. One of the things that is so powerful about the images, as I go through the book, the puzzle, the different projects that I've seen you do, is the power of your eye, like the pictures and the images you actually select, right? They are not oppression, right? They are joy. They are people in various states of being the freest they can possibly be, regardless of what is going on around them. And I've always just marveled at your eye, like your ability to be really discerning about what images you pick and what you pick to display. Can you talk a little bit about how you actually select the image you select and how you curate the stories that you're curating? Because it's powerful. There's very little sorrow in the stories and the images you show, and I'm just curious about how you get to that point.
It's an interesting observation. I don't see sorrow when I see us. So maybe it comes from a place of, within of how I see us, right? And I also want to say that when I'm curating, I'm curating from a place of a student of photography, of studying photography, so a lot of times I'm really interested in the composition and how maybe a particular photographer framed, a black person in this image. And so I lean into telling that particular story for that series or for that post. Some posts you'll see where I might just post one image, right? And maybe there is something specific about that particular image that I want you to focus on, as opposed to telling a story through a sequence of 10, 15, 20 slides of images, right? Yeah, I think it just comes from being curious about photography. My dad was sort of like, I call him a photographer, when he was living, but at the time, like, I don't know if all dads knew that they had this sort of art, this creative tendency or whatever. And so I like to consider himself an artist. I know that he's probably like looking down at me like, girl, like, what are you talking about?